All right, thanks again for joining me in this series on communication tools. We're going to talk about two in this video. The first one is focused on integrity. And I use a phrase, being in integrity and being out of integrity, in conversation with different people and what that means for me. So being in integrity for me means that I do what I say and that I deliver what I plan to, that I inquire into the congruence of my actions and my values and my strategies, so that the work that I'm doing represents what I stand for, and that I have the courage to create what is in real alignment. And so when I use being in integrity or feeling in integrity with my work, that's what I mean. I mean that I am doing what I say I am planning to do, that work and the strategies that are involved in it are aligned with my values, and that I have the courage to create in that way in the world. And the courage to create in that way is challenging for me. The most challenging part of those, because that has to do with like speaking what is true for me, and that for me is harder than listening. And so when I am out of integrity, or when I say that I am out of integrity, it means that I am not behaving in all of these ways. And I think that it's important to be able to make a distinction there, because if I'm out of integrity, then I can bring it back, you know? I'm not always fully in integrity with all of my beliefs. I have unconscious biases, and I am the descendant of imperial colonizers, and I have lots of privilege in my background, and I'm not always aware of the ways in which my actions are not in congruence with my values. And so it is an eternal, lifelong lesson to keep understanding the ways in which my values and my actions may not be aligned with my values, and then to correct my actions to align with those values. So that's integrity. And then the next one has to do with breakdowns. And I love this methodology because it is so helpful when there is a breakdown. And I talked about predicaments earlier. Predicaments are exactly this kind of a thing. It's when we have applied all of our best, tools and understanding and the best minds to a certain issue or problem or communication problem, and there is no solution. And so a breakdown is a distinction for a possibility that goes beyond simply solving a problem. And it occurs in action and in conversation. And the context that it's declared in is breakdowns happen. Like, it is a natural course of life and communities and relationships for there to be breakdowns. It is natural for that to happen. Breakdowns occur relative to a commitment, and it is a commitment for typically a future. The gravity of the breakdown is relative to the commitment that people have to an outcome. And so when there's a very big breakdown, there is a very strong commitment. And so we can see past the breakdown and into the commitment in order to bring the forces together for change. Breakdowns forward action, and they allow for innovation. There actually needs to be innovation in breakdowns in order for us to move through the breakdown. Breakdowns call for collaboration and the wisdom of the team, and not a top-down, dogmatic, hierarchical approach. working together with the whole group in co-collaboration is the way through a breakdown. Sourcing all of the wisdom of the whole team is the way forward. The top-down directive approach just pushes the breakdown down the line, and then it resurfaces again. Breakdowns allow us to see new approaches and the possibility of a breakthrough. And a key point is that it reveals unexamined interpretations, unconscious biases, our beliefs that we have that we haven't questioned, that we think are fact but are in fact not fact. They are beliefs. And bringing up this question of integrity and whether our actions are aligned with our values and realigning actions to values. There is a particular methodology that goes along with declaring a breakdown and working to break through the breakdown. First step is to bring everybody together and say, there's a breakdown. It doesn't mean there's something wrong. It just means that things are the way that they are right now. And so we have something that's in front of us to work on, to create a space where people can see themselves in the work and to be involved in the development of the next phase, and to inquire into what everyone's commitment is. Like, what does the whole team want? Like, what are all of these different varying parties all in alignment with? Like, what is the commitment that is generating the breakdown? The thing that everyone really wants to have happen, that is actually creating the breakdown. Then being specific in declaring the breakdown, like what exactly it is, what it involves. I'll give you all of these steps. There are some good sort of key guidelines around how to craft the breakdown statement. But to get this statement in front of the whole group so that everyone understands and everyone is on the same page about what the breakdown really is. To realign the direction with shared values and to have a conversation around possibility. So in the beginning, it's not a conversation about procedure or like what we will do, I think of it like brainstorming. What are all of the ideas? And allowing everyone this space and the time to speak and to share from their experience, and to not negate the thoughts of anyone in the conversation. So every idea is a possibility, and every idea is equally as important and valid as another idea in this conversation around possibilities. Narrowing in on some of these possibilities, having a conversation that is around opportunity. So what opportunities are available that are in support of this possibility? And it's narrowing in on a possibility that is in alignment and that also sort of makes sense within the external context of what is going on. The next steps sort of bring this to a close. Conducting, the previous video that I was talking about having conversations for action. So once you've decided on a direction to go, then inviting everyone to work on their part and making sure, asking if they're actually interested in doing that part, and having a conversation to close the breakdown conversations. The conclusion of a difficult conversation like this is really important, especially to kind of to keep the team together and to keep the cohesion of the team, to talk about what was learned through the conversation and any and acknowledging each other for being there and for bringing their full selves into the conversation and for working on this difficult thing together. And as we decentralize problem solving, predicament working on, we will be able to move past or move into a different way of dealing with issues as they come up. Something that is more supportive and regenerative for the whole group. Once a group has worked through one breakdown together, they become better at managing breakdowns in the future together. And so we build a capacity for dealing with breakdown and breakthrough as we practice working on it. If you have any questions for clarification about this breakdown methodology and how it works, or you have an experience of a breakdown that you would like to share, I would love to hear about it. Thanks for listening.